I've actually been pretty lucky with everything that's going on. I work weekends. My wife is working from home, and my son just finished junior high online. As far as Unmerciful, we are just doing what we can to promote the new album online from home and trying to plan any shows in the future as far as tours, festivals, anything that we can possibly book now. I was born and raised in Topeka, Kansas. I had kind of a typical childhood in the area, I guess. As far as I know anyway, I got into a lot of fights when I was a kid, got into a lot of mischief. Growing up, my parents would listen to a lot of music, some metal. I hung around kids in elementary school that listened to metal. I've always kind of been around metal. I remember my cousin coming over with, I think, the demo for Metallica, and I think I was probably 8 or 10, somewhere around there. I remember hearing Ozzy Osbourne's Randy Rhoads tribute album for the first time and being blown away by the guitar playing. And that's pretty much all it took for me to start to want to play guitar. My first guitar was a Gibson Flying V knockoff. I think it was a Vantage V. It was a gift from my grandparents. I learned a lot of songs on that guitar, a lot of albums. I had that guitar for a long time. I took guitar lessons for probably the first year that I started playing, and then the rest is just self-taught. I've always been on the lookout for heavier music. I remember getting different albums and always wanting it to be heavier, faster, more aggressive. As far as bands that I've been in, the only bands that I've really been in are Origin and Unmerciful. I got to tour with Cannibal Corpse in 2004, so I handled live duties for them for about 6 months. The new guys in Unmerciful, between the last album and the new album, are Trent Kelly and Josh Riley. Both of them are within the area. They're Kansas City metal scene. Trent comes from a band called Marasmus. Really fast, really aggressive. Trent's a machine. He's a sick drummer. If he cannot do a part that you want him to do, he will go home, work on it, and have it down within a week. He was approached to do live duties for us at first, and then he came to us wanting to join full-time, and it was a no-brainer. Josh came up. We had a show that our vocalist at the time could not do because he had an emergency appendectomy. So we had the choice of either canceling the show or having people come up and do vocals for whatever song that they felt that they wanted to do, or play it instrumental. Some of the songs we played instrumental, some songs we had people come up. Josh came up and did one song for us and did amazingly well, especially for not really practicing the song with us before. Fast forward, I think a year and a half later, he approached us about trying out for the band, and that was pretty much all it took. He's also in another band called Conera, where he's the guitar player, which makes his sense of timing pretty impeccable, which is pretty important for Unmerciful. We started Writing for Wrath, I think pretty much after Ravenous was done, we're all just slow writers. We have three writers in the band, Clint, Justin, and I. For the new album, Clint wrote 4 songs, I wrote 3, and Justin wrote 2. I write on guitar still. I play bass live in Unmerciful, but I'm still a guitar player. I will write the guitar parts for my songs and then try to come up with bass parts that I think would sound cool over some of the parts. Or Clint will have a part that he wants me to do different on bass, and same with Justin. When we write, we usually go riff by riff, showing the whole band, but especially going through each part with Trent so that he can record them on his laptop, take them home, and learn the songs on his own. With Wrath, we worked with Robert Rebeck, who's recorded Origin, even other styles of music like Tech Nine from Kansas City. We've known Rob for a long time, and we work pretty well together. He's a great guy, really professional, really knows his shit. We recorded drums and guitars at the studio, and then we recorded the bass at Clint's and took those tracks back to the studio and reamped them. Then we recorded the vocals at Clint's, and Clint and Rob edited everything, and then Robert mixed everything. When he was done with that, we took the tracks to Colin Davis at Imperial Mastering. Colin from the Van Vile. He's mastered every album for Unmerciful. Digital recording makes it really convenient and effective for the average home musician to get a pretty decent recording. I'm still more of a fan of an analog sounding recording. It sounds warmer, it sounds more natural to me. I'm not a huge fan of the digital sound, but then again, it makes it really convenient for anyone to get their songs out and heard. Clint and I have known each other for almost 30 years now. We're both really heavily into the same bands. I think our musical similarities outweigh the differences by quite a bit. I tend to write in 3/4 timing, maybe 3/8 timing, as to where he can switch in and out of different timings. His songs have more twists and turns than mine do. As far as starting Unmerciful, Clint actually started the band with James King in 2001. I remember going and hearing some of the first songs that they would come up with. I did not join Unmerciful until, well, I guess technically 2004 before I got the call for Cannibal, and then after that was over, I joined Unmerciful again in, I think, 2005. Lyrical themes of Unmerciful have always been violent, brutal. I think they've evolved from just mindless violence to the dark, twisted psyche of the human mind, whether it be serial killer, ultimate revenge, or self-inflicted demise of the human race. Yeah, I think that's about it. We signed a 2-album contract with Unique Leader in 2005, I believe. And we came out with Unmercifully Beaten in 2006. And then we came out with Ravenous in 2016. that fulfilled our contract with the Unique Leader, and at that time we decided it would be better if we worked with another label. We had heard nothing but good things about Jason and Willow. We signed a 2-album deal with Willow, and so far it's been very smooth, very professional. As far as Eric Lindmark, Eric was a great dude. I'm a huge fan of Deeds of Flesh. Eric, Jacoby, and Mike, that's the Deeds of Flesh that I know, Deeds of Flesh that I knew. Sick band. I remember seeing them the first time at the Ohio Death Fest in 2000. I think that might have been Mike's first show with them. Very high expectations for the new drummer. I knew Mike from Vile. Deeds of Flesh is a step up in intensity from Vile, I think. And Mike did not disappoint one bit. He was awesome at that set. These days, I think I'm digging on like Distant Tomb. I really like that really dark, heavy, brutal death metal. I will always love what I grew up listening to with death metal. Suffocation will probably be one of my favorites of all time, along with Immolation. Gorgasm, another great band. Love a lot of their music. So many bands, so many great bands, so many cool dudes. Cannibal Corpse, Bloodthirst, probably my favorite album from them. I can talk about favorite albums for hours, but I don't think I'm going to bore you with all that. I listen to a lot of different styles of music, but I only play what I feel. I only write what I feel, and that's pretty much just death metal. Pretty close-minded that way, I guess. What I got to experience with Cannibal is something I'll never forget. It was completely incredible, completely surreal. From the time that I got the phone call from Eric Rutan to the time that I flew to Florida, which was just a few days later, stayed with George and his wife for a few weeks while I learned 18 songs, and then we went on tour. I think we played 90 shows in 6 months. I think 3 different continents and something like 53 different countries. All the adventures we had, all the sleepless nights, all of the airports, all of the fans. I think I played in front of more people than I ever thought I would. Got to play Vakken that year, which was, I don't even know the total count of people that were there. I'm sure it was over 50,000. And I would definitely love to experience that with Unmerciful. We are definitely working on a U.S. tour. We're definitely in talks with being able to go to Europe, and I'm trying to set something up for South America. I think that 20 years ago, people were more in the moment of shows. I obviously see a lot more screens now, people recording. I know some people don't go to shows, they just catch it online after it happens. I feel like there used to be a little more camaraderie. The pits definitely used to be more violent. People used to get way more into the shows. But these days it is way easier to promote your band. Remember tape trading back then. You'd have to wait days for the mail to get a tape from somebody that you responded to in a magazine, or maybe it was a buddy of yours that you'd been mailing just to hear a band for the first time. These days, somebody can suggest something, you go right over to a link, click it, listen to that band right then and there. For all of the United States merchandise needs, anybody in the United States can order it directly from us at www.unmercifulmusic.com, all one word. For international sales, you can visit the Willow Tip site or go to unmerciful.bandcamp.com /album/Wrath Encompassed. For digital copies, you can go to Willow Tip, you can go to the Bandcamp, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Google Play, any of those platforms. We are working on a tour for late summer. We are very much hoping that that can materialize. We do have plans to play Vegas later on this year, and like I said, we are hoping to play Europe in 2021. We want to thank all of our fans, all of you that have supported us since Unmercifully Beaten, since the beginning, and those of you who just learned about us and started listening to us, and especially those of you who watched this video and listened to me ramble for the past 20 minutes. If you would like to follow us, just head on over to Facebook. It's official Unmerciful, one word. Instagram is official_Unmerciful. YouTube, we have a YouTube video channel. It's Unmerciful Official, one word. Again, thank you guys very much.